September the 26th, 2021. Guys, I'm going to do an update on La Palma, and I'm going to use a few other videos. I'm not going to show you the videos. It's not really fair to do that, especially if you don't have permission, but I want to point out what we're seeing and point out the YouTube videos that you can go and check this out on. Yesterday I mentioned a YouTube channel there called Bushcraft Bear. He's put up a new one tonight. I will link to that also. But here, notice in the bottom left, this YouTube channel is called Sunset Sweden, and it says La Palma volcano / the lava is almost reaching the sea. And that's because that flank in the lava cone collapsed. I mentioned that in the video earlier. And it created new rivers of lava. And what you're looking at is the destruction of banana plantations and greenhouses there, and that's their major crop. I don't think it's the only one, but it's a major crop. Not only that, from what I understand, it's a major source of employment for the island. So anyway, the lava cone collapsed, new lava's forming, and it had almost stopped right at this church. We've been watching that for a few days. But now with the new lava flow from that cone collapse and pressure building, we're starting to see this creep. And in some places, this lava is 60 feet high. Some is 20 feet, 2 stories high. Some is 60 feet. But again, when it reaches the sea, which we had talked about when it first started, let me back up a minute. When the volcano first started erupting, within a day or so, at the speed that the lava was flowing at, they predicted that, again, within a day or so, it would reach the ocean, and you'd start getting all this poisonous fumes from the lava mixing with the salt water. Well, the lava slowed, but at that time it was doing about 2 miles an hour. Then it just started creeping because you're kind of building up a dam as the lava cools a little bit, and then it almost takes new lava to come over the top of that or go through a different valley or through a different vent to create what you're seeing now. Now, in this same video from Sunset Sweden, it's drone image. And in the distance, you can see the volcano here and how the side flank burst and more lava was coming down. It goes down through this valley, but look here, right in the foreground now. It's pushed through this entire area. It swallowed the church that they were talking about that it had kind of stopped at. Now it's heading for the sea. But just look at that. I mean, talk about incredible images. It's almost like a science fiction movie or something. Now, again, I've emphasized time after time, there's no indications at all that this island's going to crack in half and send a tsunami over to hit the U.S. A mountain of fire cast into the ocean, in order to do that, would more than likely be an asteroid. And it would hit the Earth's atmosphere at such a velocity that shock wave would create a tsunami as well as the impact. Either that or a 9.0 plus quake because of the volcanoes are right here. You could get a tsunami because we saw a 30-foot wave come over the seawall in Fukushima. That was a 9.0 earthquake caused by an X-flare. Done many videos on it. But again, just as Roy Potter said in the last video, it's maybe not the best place to live, but I'm going to link you to also Bushcraft Bear, and he lives there on the island. He's there now, and he's showing that a lot of great information, no hype or anything like that involved, and he's telling you the same thing. This is on the south side of the island. The crack that they've talked about, BBC and everybody, for all these years is on the north side, and the crack doesn't even make it towards close enough to the volcanoes anyway. For that, it would take a massive earthquake, and that offshore quake may cause a landslide. It may not. The geologists say that sure, a landslide could occur, but it could take thousands of years, multiple volcanic events, multiple quakes. But these images, guys, are incredible. And just look at the height of this, and everything's consumed. It's happened before. If you look at, go to Google Earth and look down on this island very closely, and you can see older lava flows that are gray now. And guys, it reminds me, and I've been through it several times, the Valley of Fire. If you're between Roswell and headed over towards Arizona, down in that valley, the highway's carved through these 20-foot lava flows. There's an island or two where the park is up on the left there if you're headed west, where the lava didn't get that high. But there, you can see here on this island from Google Maps, or Google Earth is a better one, that they've cut highways through the previous, not black but gray lava flows, and they're everywhere. It's a volcanic island. But there's another danger. Now you've got, we talked about acid rain moving towards Europe, or whatever direction the wind is going to be blowing that day. We're looking at poisonous gases being formed if this lava reaches the sea, which they're saying now it will do. So you've got those two keys. But I noticed also on another video, I'm going to put it here, or put a picture of it, is that a large area of this section of the island, the southern area, which, by the way, for hundreds of years, the southern part is where most of the volcanoes have been, right in what they call Cumbre Vieja. But and there's different cones there, but that section, that's what it's called. It's not just this cone that is called that, but the ash covering some of the other areas is larger than the lava flows, and it's covering the trees and the ground. It's very deep. It's solid, and that will, of course, it will turn into fertilizer one day, and you're going to have a lot of it wash into the sea. But right now, it's suffocating everything that's under it. And in the Bushcraft Bear, which, again, Bushcraft Bear, 2 words, on YouTube, go there. He's there on the island. He does a couple of reports a day, films it down from up on a high cliff there north of this area, and gives very good information. Just no hype, like I said, like that. But this ash covering is going to be as destructive to the plant life as the lava. Now, the lava is covering homes and things like that, and they'll cut roads, and they will rebuild there. But let's take a look at some of that ash, because those are pretty incredible images too. Now, this video is from the Institute of Geology of Spain, and maybe they won't get me kicked off for showing you part of this. I'm actually going to play a little part of this video. But you've got your lava flow here. See this where the smoke is? But look at the surrounding areas. It's like it's covered in gray snow over the trees, over all the fields. And so you've got multiple impacts. The quakes are small, but they're continuing. I think the main thing that, like Bushcraft Bear has been talking about, because he lives there, that it's really kind of hard to sleep. You've got explosions every few seconds, and some get really loud. And you've seen the images from there, guys. It's it's like a blowtorch on a gigantic proportion, and there's boulders and rocks and lava bombs the size of cars and buses that are going sometimes 2 miles away from that vent. But this image, I'm just going to play a little bit of its drone footage here. Again, the Institute of Geology. Now, this is the channel I mentioned yesterday, Bushcraft Bear. I think it's really unique in the sense that it's an individual that lives there. He's going up on this high ridge that overlooks the city. You can see the volcano over his left shoulder. And it's very basic. And it's not just his volcano videos that are very good. Bushcraft, in this name there, tells you about the camping and cooking and the primitive lifestyle and how to do these things. It's very interesting indeed, but he just happens to be there, and he's asked, and I'm going to relay the message, for people not to copy his videos. He says there's so many people taking bits and pieces of it and then hyping it into this tsunami craze that's going around, thanks to the BBC, that he says don't do it. I don't want to put any fear. He says life is normal, except right where the volcano is, from where he's standing and north. And north of there, you see city lights on behind him. That's south of him, but he said life is normal. Restaurants, cafes, bars are open. The highway's open. People are out and about. They are keeping an eye on it. But, guys, there's so many distractions right now. And this is not a man-made event. And it's not a distraction as far as keeping up with how the world changes. It's kind of, I love this type of information. It's just no need in hyping this particular event. There's enough, going on in the world right now that you need to pay attention to. You're like me, you love watching these type of events, but don't let this hype take take you away from what is being done in this nation and other nations around the world. But again, this is not man-made. It's not going to cause a tsunami unless you had a major 9 or 10 point quake, and you may see some event. But right now, just as he says, he's there, that the volcanoes are nowhere near the crack zone, and the crack is not as deep as a lot of people are saying, and it's just a slow evolving event that will take thousands of years. He also mentions in this video, and I think he shows an image of it, of one of the people saying there was a landslide today, and it was a very steep cliff, and there's some very steep ones. You can kind of see where he's standing. And there was a landslide there, but he says that's a regular occurrence. It's just such a steep cliff and it looks like it's mainly dirt, that sections fall off. And what he's saying that the local earthquake folks there are saying is that landslide was caused by possibly some of the earlier quakes. You know, like I think it was a 4.3 that triggered this, or happened right before the pressure finally popped the valve on it. But that landslide was a natural event. It was in a very small area. As far as what the island is, it looks like it didn't even cross the road there at the bottom of the cliff. So I just wanted to do this update and kind of link you into some people that are watching this and are there doing drone footage, kind of giving you a feel. Back away from the hype. I don't care who's telling you this, if it's a preacher or whoever it is, or someone that says they're a preacher. This is what's going on in the ground. You need to check that out for yourself and pay close attention to the demons at home. It's a heads up. Be safe.